Alright, hey, so I'm going to have a look at some hardware news again this week. And I'm using the webcam this week, and I know the microphone isn't as good as the camera, but it is more convenient, and the webcam on this is pretty good, and the microphone's pretty good as well, so I don't have a problem with the quality. So, alright, first I'm going to head over to the Linus Tech Tips forum, which is using new software, so that's the first thing, and I'm very pleased with that. It's IP board 3.4.4, and that was a few days ago, I believe. I remember that changing, and it's been working very well. One small thing that I have noticed, though, is when you're going to reply to a post or you're making a new post, and you go to resize the text window that you're typing into, it sort of jumps around a bit in Chrome anyway, so it's a little bit glitchy when you're trying to resize the text window, but other than that, it's very good. It's been working very well ever since then. And the other thing is, and I don't know if this is the case for everything, but new posts, the view count is working like when you made a post since the IP board software switch, but the old posts that were migrated from View Bulletin, the view count doesn't seem to be working with those, at least not on my my personal build log. But the new build log I just did for the X79 build, that the views are working for that already. So that's another thing if you want to check that out. The X79 build, that's my father's build. You can check that out, and that's up on the Linus Tech Tips forum, and there's a video on YouTube and pictures. It's all on the forum there. It's called Seafoam, Project Seafoam X79 Gaming Build. And then while you're there, please do check out everyone else's build, because there's lots of great builds on there as well. And so now I'm going to head to the main forums and the news and reviews section. So MSI launched mechanical keyboards. I got the video on YouTube in my subscription box, and it basically says there's a new MSI keyboard. Sorry about that. New keyboard with cherry red switches, and it just looks pretty plain. Haven't really seen too much of it yet, but there is a link to that here, and there's a post on the MSI, just the regular main MSI channel, YouTube/MSI. It's called the GK601, and alright, so that's good. I have a few things marked here, but haven't marked as much things as I would like. So there's a supposed Intel 377K versus 477K benchmarks, and basically what it looks like is for Cinebench it's 7.87 for the 3770 and 8.55 for the 4770, so pretty close, not a massive difference there. And then the next thing was NVIDIA devs show off new Water Effects engine, which is really nice. And Water, I've been kind of not super impressed with Water in games, and this looks really good. So NVIDIA's Miles Macklin and Matthias Muller-Fisher have been working on methods to make computer-generated water look and move more like real water. They have come up with a solution for this computationally expensive problem with a new fluid algorithm called position-based fluids, PBD. So it looks really good, and if you want to see that, you can go to my bookmarks, delicious /Andre Bouture, and then it's marked each week's are marked news dash whatever the date. So for this one, it's news dash May 1st, or it's Hexus. So just Google NVIDIA devs show off new water effects in it. That's on Hexus. Alright, moving on. So there's a 7990 review. PCPer did that. Basically, it performs a little bit lower than two 7970s in SLI, and a little bit lower than the like the Aries 2 type cards, because those ones had a higher base clock. And also the frame rating issues still applies with the current driver, but they did send Ryan Trout from PC Perspective a prototype driver, and he said that that prototype driver did make a very substantial difference with the frame rating issues, the runt frame stuff. So hopefully that prototype driver will get pushed into production quickly, and then that will sort of improve the performance a lot for everyone with Crossfire cards or dual core cards that are running in Crossfire. So on the Gigabyte Motherboards page, the Facebook page, they've been showing off some photos and stuff from their new series of stuff, and what they've been showing is the orange board. So that's like the OC series, the high-end board. This one photo here shows a little fan, and also it has the barbs for water cooling, similar to that Asus ROG Formula, Maximus Formula board. And it's red, orange and blue. The blue is kind of a lighter shade, like I said, and then the orange is like an orange. It looks like it's on a metal piece, so it's like a metallic orange. It's very nice looking, although I'm not massively into fans on boards, but as long as it's sort of controlled well and it doesn't spin up crazy all the time, that's not too big of a deal. There's also here something to do with sound. It says Sound Core 3D, so that's actually something that I haven't even heard of before, and there's no title for that picture. It's just a picture. They also launched that OC Labs thing, so Gigabyte OC Lab, and I guess they're doing benchmarking and stuff here. So it's Gigabyte daily.blogspot.tw, Gigabyte OC Lab open for business. We're super excited at the moment. This is from April 12th, so it's not even new, but we're super excited at the moment as our new overclocking lab is about to have its first public visitors walk through these doors. It's been a long road, but I have to say it's great to work with a company that really champions supporting the overclocking community. Hopefully many of you guys will get the chance to visit HiCookie in his new gigs here in Taipei, as he continues to seriously punish any hardware that is put in front of him. With that says, cheers, Cookie, to your new OC Lab. So that's a lab that they built for HiCookie. And there's some photos of him doing LN2 stuff here. And then there's photos on the Gigabyte Motherboards Facebook page of a bunch of custom builds and stuff. They also showed off a Gigabyte D1 Killer board. And other people have their boards too, but I think I talked about that a little bit last week. So NVIDIA GTX 700 series coming this May. So there's a chart here that shows some of the potential models based on rumors and stuff, I guess. So it's in an effort to achieve clarity. I think you may find these results based on these rumors. So GTX 790 dual, which is like a dual GTX Titan LE. Titan 2 is like a Titan Ultra. GTX 780 is like a Titan LE, and then GTX 770 is like a GTX 680, and 760 Ti is like a 670. So we are already pretty certain that AMD's next generation of graphics cards, 8000 series, won't arrive properly until October. By properly, we mean released 8570. The recently released 8570 and other similar OEM graphics cards don't really count because they are just rebrands of the 7000 series. With that said, we are pretty surprised to hear rumors that GTX 700 series will be coming this May, aka within the month. This will apparently have a mid-range model available by mid-May and high-end models available by end of May, and then everything else ready for an entire showcase at the Computex 2013 event. According to the rumored report, GTX 700 series will have heavily based on the existing 600 Kepler silicon, and will feature set updates and project realignments. So you can read that. That's on eTeknix, eteknix.com, which is a good site. And you can check that there. Just Google NVIDIA GTX 700 series coming this May, and you should find that. Now I'm going to head to PCPer and have a quick look at some of the things on the news section there. So frame rating, high-end GPUs benchmarked at 4K resolutions, and that's from Ryan Trout, posted today, April 30th. And so you can have a look at that. Our 4K testing methods, so they're using that Seiki 50-inch TV, and they're doing some frame rating stuff, so that's good. Oh, okay. So this is something I didn't see. It's dated today at 2 p.m. So it says here, the title is AMD releases FX CPU refreshes. Today, AMD has released two new processors that address the AM3 Plus market, the FX 6350 and the FX 4350 are two new refreshes of the quad-core and hex-core lineup of processors. Currently, the 8350 is still the fastest of the breed, and there's no update for that particular number yet. This is not necessarily a bad thing, but those of us who are still awaiting the arrival of the rumored Centurion. Yeah, so those are just two lower-end processors getting updates or new versions or whatever. Alright. New Ubuntu 13.04 releases upgrades Unity, ditches Wooby, and updates applications. Okay, so a new version of Ubuntu, and I might throw that on one of my machines to give it a try. Alright, this is very good actually. Deal of the day for April 30th, so that is today. Dell UltraSharp U2711 27-inch 2560 by 1440 for $630. That's pretty good. New Linux kernel 3.9 adds new features including KVM on ARM and SSD casting support. Can you go too far with the gaming mouse? The Shogun Bros Ballista MK1 Pro, and that's a new gaming mouse. Looks very buttony. You can have a look at there. Can you spare $14K for a Curvilicious LCD? You thought 72 plus HD panels and 4K TVs were expensive? Wait until you get a load of the price tag attached to the first curved OLED display that will hit the market in South Korea for a mere $13,569 each. At just 4.3 millimeters thick and 17 pounds, they won't be hard to position in your home if you can afford the asking price of one. So this is like a big curved display, which is interesting, I guess. Alright, so there's also the Corsair Obsidian 350D review, which is good. The 350D looks like a pretty cute little case. I think it looks pretty nice, and it's a micro ATX form factor, so you can get a nice micro ATX board in there with a couple of good GPUs and a good power supply and all your stuff. It supports dual 120s and dual 140s in the roof, so you can get a water cooling unit in there if you want. And the front has a similar aesthetic to the 900D, just a smaller version. It's got the brushed aluminum front with the it's plaster behind it, but with the brushed aluminum faceplate on that, and it's got those same sort of drive bay covers and the power button and all that stuff as the 900D, which is pretty good because I think the 900D is pretty nice. And so that's a nice case. Also, on MNPC Tech, that site, or their YouTube rather, which is actually Monster Mod. So mnpctech.com YouTube. There's a video up there from 2 days ago. Fractal Design Archimedes R2 with guest Josh Smith from Fractal Design. Josh was on one of the Linus streams from a few weeks back, and he's pretty good. I think he's a pretty cool guy, and he talks about some of the stuff they're doing with Fractal and their plans for the future, and they have a look around the MIDI case. These cases, the R2 the Define R4 and the Archimedes R2, these cases are it's like 109 for the non-windowed and 119 for the windowed versions. And these cases are very nice cases. They're good quality materials. The drive bays for hard drives are the best quality I've seen almost anywhere. They're better than the Corsair ones. They're better than most of the ones. And the doors are nice quality. The cases have great features. I mean, you would, if someone showed me the case and they said, "How much do you think this is?" I would say probably 180 or 200, around there. And these things are, like I said, 119 for the windowed version. So the Fractal Design, I think, is a great company, and I think they're doing great stuff. And their products, not only are they really good, but they're lower priced than you would expect for a product that's that good. So head over to the Monster Mod channel on YouTube for the MNPC Tech video there. And then on the same channel, there's also a video that's good, visiting Smart Computer Store in Bloomington, Minnesota, and that's kind of one of those really neat little computer shops that has tons and tons of kind of niche, older stuff that you won't see, like cases from 10 years ago, cases from 12 years ago or more, you know, stuff like those Dell XPS cases that were kind of cool, that had the lights on the front, you know, Alienware cases, just any kind of stuff that was good, and you know, you won't find it anymore, you know, easily. And they have a look at all kinds of different stuff. There's, you know, water cooling stuff, air cooling stuff, all kinds of novelty stuff. So that was a really good video. It's 15.5 minutes, basically having a look through that store and talking to the guy, and I really enjoyed that. And then also the ongoing Rebel A case mod with the Cosmos 2. There's part 3 of that up from a week ago, and I'm looking forward to part 4 of that. And then if you scroll down even a little further, there's Mod Zoo podcast episode 8 from 3 months ago now, so that's a little older, but that's a good episode where they talk about water cooling and stuff. That's about an hour. And then let me just have a quick look here and see if there's anything else I want to talk about. saw some comparison on the Soldier Knows Best YouTube channel, comparing the HTC One's camera, the whatever they're calling it, the 4 megapixel camera on there, and the iPhone 5, and I was very impressed with the HTC One camera. And then I also saw on one of the sites, I forget which one exactly, but S4, Galaxy S4 sample photos and video, and that looked very nice as well. So that's good. And then I was over on Thermaltake for some reason. Someone sent me a link, and I saw Big Water 3.0, which is something that I didn't even know was out. Let me just Google that. So Thermaltake introduces Water 3.0 liquid cooling systems. This one's from Maximum PC. It's from 1 day ago, so it is new. And just as you can configure and build your PC from scratch, cooling enthusiasts can also piece together a custom liquid cooling solution, provided they have the requisite cache and experience. For everyone else, self-contained liquid cooling systems are the next best thing, offering similar benefits but for less money and far less risk. Enter Thermaltake, one of the most active players in the LCS market, which just announced a trio of new cooling products. Sitting at the top of Thermaltake's LCS totem pole is the new Water 3.0 Extreme. The Extreme uses a specifically designed 240mm large surface radiator with 2 or more 120mm double curve fans to dissipate the heat. And then there's a notch below. There's Water 3.0 Pro and the Water 3.0 Performer, which I believe is a single 120. Yeah, that's a single 120 with a fan on each side, and they're saying the radiator is 27mm thick. On the Performer and on the Pro, it's a double thick radiator that's 49mm thick, single 120 with a fan on each side. And then I don't think it's saying here how thick the Water 3.0 Extreme is, but the Water 2.0 Extreme, I believe the radiator was a bit thicker than the other ones, and so it was like 35mm or something like that instead of 25, and so I think that was actually performing really well. So I would expect the Water 3.0 to perform in a similar way, providing the radiator is the same thickness. And so yeah, so there's that, and I think I'll just wrap it up now. Can't think of much else. Actually, I might go to the Linus Tech Tips channel and just have a peek there. I watched some stuff. So he's got a look at the GD65 gaming motherboard, which is the new version that has the dragon on it, the red dragon on the heatsink, and it also has the one set of Intel Serial ATA3s and the one set of third-party Serial ATA3s. So it's got a bit more connections, and it's got the killer network chip. And he's got to look at the wide format monitor, or sorry, the MX279, which is that nice 1080p IPS monitor that I was talking about recently, and it was really nice. It has a great stand, it's very sturdy. Also, Silverstone has a few new fans, Silverstone AP123, and they have a new cooler as well. Let me just have a peek at my bookmarks, it should be in there. Yeah, Argon series, AR01 CPU cooler review, and that's from eTechnics as well. So that's a new cooler, and it's got the fan is white blades with a blue case or a blue frame on the fan, and it's similar form factor to the Hyper 212 Plus. So it's a single tower with one fan stock, and it's nice looking. I like it. And then back to Linus for a second. The Silverstone, the new air penetrator, is a really nice blue as well. It's got a black frame, I believe, and it has a nice blue blade, kind of like the Prolimatech blue fan, which I really like as well. But I would probably go for the Silverstone one over the Prolimatech one. But they're both nice color. They're both a similar blue, and yeah. So that's all for this week, I believe, and I will probably be back next week with more. And I also have a bunch more personal, like diary fragment videos. I shot them today, and I have some from before. I have some from the past, and some from recently. So I'm going to be uploading more of those. And basically, they're just quick little clips, usually a minute or two, from my life, basically stuff that I shoot while I'm taking photographs, and I try to make them a little bit interesting or a little bit pretty looking at least, and I enjoy those. So I'm going to be uploading more of those, and hopefully you'll enjoy them too. So that's all for this week, and I will see you next week.